From Darling Stadium, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Peninsula Boys Soccer. Today's contest, Phoebus Phantoms versus the Kecoughtan Warriors. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hintz, along with Bob Baster, and we enjoy having Bob with us. We got to do the girls contest earlier, and tonight we're watching the the top teams on the Peninsula District, and they have what kind of records, Bob?
Both teams have 4 wins and 1 tie, and they're both trailing Gloucester at the moment. This is a big match for both teams to stay in the district hunt.
And we're going to see a little more physical action than we just saw in the girls contest.
Yeah, neither of these teams are afraid to foul. I think that's a nice way to say it.
Okay. And of course, we want to thank our corporate sponsors. We're happy to have Woods Funeral Home as one of our corporate sponsors. And the funeral director there is Richard Pulley, along with Gear Up Printing, Tom Gear at 827-8277, and Zooms with 5 convenient Hampton locations. We will pick a player of the game for both of these teams tonight. That player will receive a plaque and a T-shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalter Engraving. They're located on Kecoughtan Road. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 723-6067. Dave Buckwalter is the owner. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pecoughtan, and they can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniforms, plus screen printing. Give Dave Chubb a call, 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner. And we are underway. Now, Phoebus is in the blue, Kecoughtan in white. Phoebus is going against the wind. So they will have the advantage in the second half.
Well, the wind is not quite as bad as it was during our girls' match earlier at this point, but it still will be a factor.
Yeah, it's got to be gusting up to at least 30 miles an hour. We have some additional. We get a chance. We will go over the lineup. You have the starters.
That's right,
Bob. If you will get a chance there to just run over the starters for both of these two teams.
All right. The starting today for Phoebus, we have Brad Carpenter, Danny Conaway, Ben DeMeyer, Eric DeMeyer, Chris Finch, Travis Johnson, Joey Lito, Brian Livick, Paul Pavlik, Ryan Stevenson, and Mike Zamora. The Kecoughtan starters are Daniel Dyke, Mark Tunstall, David Kennedy, Mike Simpson, Bobby Leneve, Michael Congrove, Jason Stewart, Michael Logan, Jason Broski, Brian Eubank, and Michael Whalen.
And we do appreciate the coaches, John Bailey, the coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors, and Pete Powell, the Phoebus Phantoms coach. This contest will be a little more physical, as we said. Both of these teams with identical records, and this is a big contest for them.
Yeah, both teams really need this one.
Now we got down there, the goalkeeper for the Phantoms is
Paul Pavlik.
Paul Pavlik. And that's the young man I don't have on my rosters. I got a different roster than yours, so that's okay. We'll share.
Yeah, Paul's been the regular keeper for Phoebus this season. Now, there's an example of the wind at Kecoughtan's back. Paul's going to have a tough time punting in the first half. That's a nice punt, but it's holding up in the wind. Both these teams are strong in the midfield, and it's going to be hard to clear the ball out of the middle.
Oh, we got a push in the back.
That's exactly what that was.
Is there a feeling out process, even though these teams know each other, with the wind and the conditions and all?
Absolutely, and that's what they're doing now. I think Kecoughtan just discovered how easy the ball is going to go over the end line on that attempted cross. But yeah, the two teams are both just trying to get in the rhythm of the game so far. No one has any advantage.
If you missed our first contest between the Kecoughtan girls and the Phoebus Phantoms, Kecoughtan girls won that 9-0, and your daughter played a real significant part in that. And we had a chance to talk to you during that ball game that you have been involved in soccer for a number of years now, and not only as a coach, but you have a wife that also plays. So
that's right. My wife plays in a league in Virginia Beach and then also here on the peninsula, and she's on the same team with the Kecoughtan women's JV coach. I've coached a number of the boys on both teams as well in the Phillips Recreational League.
So we just don't ask anybody into this job. We bring in experience. And, of course, Tim's not with us today. He is moving. And, of course, he would love to have been here, but his wife kind of told him that if you want to have a bedroom when you get home, you better get over to help me move. So Tim will be back with us.
Sounds like a good choice by Tim.
Well, he wanted to keep peace in the family. You're going to do that. Trying to look for our schedule, what we're going to have coming up. Here it is. On the 3rd of May, which is this coming up Monday, Phoebus and Kecoughtan softball played at Asbury Park. That game will be a tremendous contest in that the first one ended up in ran out of daylight, and they ended up in a draw after 12 innings with no score. And then baseball on 5/7, May the 7th, that's a Friday. Kecoughtan Warriors will be over at Bethel High School. And back with soccer on the 12th of May, Hampton and Bethel here at Darling Stadium. And that's a big contest because that's when the Kecoughtan girls going up to Gloucester, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's our first shot of the game there by Mike Simpson for Kecoughtan, and nice save by Paul Pavlik.
Now, what do we have here?
Okay, Joey Lito was fouled as he was trying to clear the ball, so that'll be a direct kick.
I don't think we'll have quite as many shots on goal today, do you?
Not as many as we saw in the girls' match. Both of these teams are good at defending, so no, I think this is going to be a very tight match. That's a great throw-in.
It really was.
You see both teams will try to take the ball wide and then swing it back across. That's called a crossing pass.
It's just like going on a fast break, getting the ball to the side and then back to the middle.
That's exactly right.
Oh, nice header.
That was a good play.
But, you know, you said the wind wasn't blowing as strong, and I'm looking down this flag, and it's still leaning 45 degrees.
It's blowing now. I think you're right. It's picked back up.
No sun, so the temperature's in the mid-50s, but that wind, it's got to feel like it's in the 30s.
A lot of bundled up people in the stands.
And you notice they all kind of bunched together. Maybe that's they want to get body heat.
Here's Bobby Leneve with the throw. Nice throw in right in the center of the box. But Paul Pavlik has the ball.
Well, I don't know if you can hear that wind or not, but we just this whole thing is kind of shaking up here.
Well, you can see the goalposts are actually being shaken now. I think I spoke too soon on the wind earlier.
Well, I think it just kind of caught you in a moment when you looked out there and it wasn't blowing as hard. But that's a tremendous kick in that wind, and you really got that high.
That's a great punt. When he gets the wind behind him in the second half, he's going to kick it most of the way down the field.
We're happy to have Woods Funeral Home as one of our corporate sponsors again this year. Woods Funeral Home, where the funeral director is Richard Pulley, and on staff are Brian Wood and John Ware.
Yeah, both teams are still really feeling each other out, as you said earlier at this point. Oh, that's a nice pass.
Wow.
That's
That was excellent.
Unfortunate that Bobby Leneve couldn't find that one. That was a beauty. Yeah, Kecoughtan really is going to need to score a goal in the first half. I think if Phoebus can hold Kecoughtan scoreless, they're going to feel mighty good at halftime. Look at that throw against the wind. That is a great throw in.
Now, if you were coaching, would you rather have the win during the first half or the second half?
It depends if your team comes out flat or comes out fired up. If your team comes out fired up, you want the wind right off. If you've got a team that doesn't start quickly, you want to save your advantage for the second half.
Okay. So it doesn't. It depends on what you feel the team is, how they're geared up for the ball game.
That's exactly right.
And I'm assuming that neither one of these coaches had to fire these two teams up at all. They know each other very close, and they're both tied for the identical records. So I don't imagine there was much of a problem to get them fired up for this game.
No, I don't think that was a problem at all. In fact, I've heard that the Kecoughtan boys team came over to watch the Phoebus Hampton game the other night, and they were rather vocal in their comments towards the Phoebus team.
And they were probably pulling for Hampton.
I don't know. I think maybe they wanted this to be a big game.
Well, they got their wish.
Yes, they did.
Definitely is.
It's a first shot on goal for Phoebus. Nice shot and a nice save.
It was an excellent save by the goalie down there. He ran a little contact from one of the Phantoms. Keeping the ball low in the wind is probably an advantage, but
yeah, they're gonna. That was a nice play by Joey Lito to clear it back out.
we got something going on here.
That's the equivalent of a basketball player control foul.
As we're having a substitute, I see number 6 is going off for the. That's Travis Johnson for the Phantoms. Has walked over to the side. Looks like he may be injured or something. Now, if they get a cut or something, they're going to have to go out.
Exactly. Anybody that's bleeding has to go out until the bleeding is stopped, and they need to change their uniform if it's blood on the uniform. That's pretty much true in every sport now. Hey, Brian Hunter just came into the game for Phoebus.
Substituting for Phoebus, number 24, Brian Hunter.
Oh, my.
Wow. Now, if he were to catch that and roll into the net,
that's a goal.
isn't it?
That's a goal. In fact, you don't even have to touch the ground with it. If he had held the ball over the goal line, that would be a goal.
And I would assume the side assistant.
The referee's assistant on the side makes that call.
That ball really travels when you got the wind behind you.
Yeah, that's a great clear by Paul Pavlik. Kecoughtan's getting a strong defensive effort out of Jason Stewart so far in the back.
Jason Stewart, one of the seniors on this Kecoughtan team with a 3.39 GPA. In fact, Jason is our young man that will receive the Outstanding Academic Excellence Award for the Warriors. Kecoughtan hasn't got but 3 seniors on the team, so you're talking a team that's going to bring a lot of young people back.
Yeah, and Kecoughtan has an advantage, well, really, as does Phoebus. A lot of them have been playing together for a number of years in the Phillips Athletic Association Select program. And that really helps when you know each other.
Now, is the Select is very similar to like an all-star softball, baseball team?
Right, it's like an all-star traveling team.
Okay. Oh, wow, look at the wind hold that one up. I almost brought it back. Looked like my 9-iron shot the other day.
It's a long shot by David Kennedy, sails a little wide right.
WHCS Channel 46 welcomes you to the Math Zone, a live televised interactive call-in program for students to get help with their math. Join Tyler Elementary teacher Cassandra Hamilton and Davis Middle School teacher Sherry Martin. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Give them a call at 850-5426 and join the Math Zone.
Travis Johnson.
Okay, Travis Johnson has come back into the game.
And we appreciate Brian Kritika. Well, I knew I'd mess it up. I looked at it and messed it up. Brian is up here announcing the ball game, and every time there's a substitute or somebody goes in, and he lets us know because he's got a walkie-talkie. And we appreciate that. Talking about Brian earlier, he's does something with the Phillips League.
Yeah, Brian is the head of the Select program for the Phillips League, so he's in charge of all of the traveling teams for boys and girls. That's a big job, for which he receives not a big salary.
That I think you had mentioned before is a handshake.
I get a hearty handshake.
And a pat on the back.
And an awful lot of the kids on both teams play in that program.
And of course, he's getting the big bucks for up here announcing this game too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Brian is one of the great sports volunteers on the peninsula. For the people that are watching us that aren't as familiar with soccer, Kecoughtan, by keeping their defenders forward a little bit, is stopping Phoebus from putting players directly down in front of the goal. In basketball, you can stand somebody under the basket and cherry pick. You can't do that in soccer.
Right, and that's, and for, if you know, because I was thinking, let's get the player down and get the ball to. But you can't do that like you can in basketball. So.
Now, if you put a player past the last defender, he'll be called offside. Offside's an obscure rule, hard to understand if you're not a soccer fan. But the basic idea is that you need to keep either the ball in front of you or the keeper and one other defender. If you go past the last defender before the ball is passed, you're offside.
I noticed both of these goalkeepers are very active in coming up to get the ball. And both have strong legs, excuse me.
Yeah, you have to do that. If the goalkeeper stays back on his line when someone is coming down the field with the ball free, he's going to get scored on. Yeah, Phoebus' defense has just been really strong here so far. It's been tough for Kecoughtan to break into the box.
Well, both these teams are showing tremendous defense, but both of them have shown pretty good speed.
Oh, yeah, no question. Bobby Leneve, who's throwing the ball now, is one of Kecoughtan's best offensive players. Bobby's a junior. He's got a grade point average of 3.8, plays forward for Kecoughtan, strong player.
And now we have a corner kick.
That's right. When Phoebus has put the ball over their own end line, so Kecoughtan gets a corner kick.
Well, we never saw a corner kick from this end of the field in the first game.
No, we didn't, and it's a real advantage because the ball's going to blow in towards the goal. It's actually possible on a day like this, if you take a kick from that corner right-footed, to hook the ball into the goal with no one else touching it, and that does count.
Yeah, all it's got to do is cross the line.
That's
and
right.
It doesn't have to hit. It just, as soon as it's crossed the line, it's a goal. Gear Up Printing is the place to go for your next printing job. Give Tom Gear a call at 827-8277.
Number 11, Chandler Bogle.
We have a injured player on the field.
And number 24, Brian Hunter.
There's approximately 20 minutes left in the first half of play. No score right now. Each team has had a few kicks on goal, but it's been basically a defensive struggle to this point. We do have an injured player on the field, and they will stop the clock, but that is used by the
referee.
on the field.
That's called injury time. We don't know how much time the referee is allowing for this stoppage. The injured player is Mike Zamora. Mike Zamora is the son of Jack Zamora, who is the girls' varsity coach for Phoebus. And he appears to be up and all right.
Well, that's good. Now, is it a rule he has to come out?
Yeah, now that he's had someone come on the field to assist him, he's going to have to come out of the match. He'd be allowed to go back in on the next substitution unless he's bleeding. And I can't tell from here if he has a bloody nose or something along that line.
He's limping. He's probably got kicked in the shin or the leg or something. It seems to be more of than a wound is open. I didn't see anybody try to clean up any
Right.
blood or anything, so that's a good sign. But
Well, kicked in the shins is an occupational hazard for
was
soccer
gonna
players. But they're all wearing shin guards to protect from injuries to that area. You're required to wear those to play.
okay, that is a requirement.
That's right.
Okay.
At every level. No jewelry and shin guards. I have to think Phoebus is thinking pretty good about themselves right now that they're withstanding this wind.
Well, they played half of the first half, and so
Oh, beautiful cross by Bobby Laneve. Nobody home. Yeah, they'll switch at halftime, and then Kecoughtan will have to go against the wind.
I tell you, this wind is just playing havoc.
Yeah, it seems to even be picking up stronger than it was.
Well, I don't know who you know about bringing up checks, but you can introduce me anytime you want.
No, I've been doing a financial collection for one of the Kecoughtan coaches who is not being compensated, so the parents are making payments to me today.
Oh, very good.
Now that in soccer is called a tackle. That's
Yeah,
completely clean as long as it's from the front and you get the ball. If you do that from the back, that will get you a card automatically.
Well, that was a nice job by number 9 for the. I lost my roster here. Number 9. That's
Kevin
Brian.
Tromley.
No, but at the other end, the Phoebus young man Brian Levi
Oh, I'm sorry.
went down and trapped the ball and was right back up.
Yeah, that was good defense.
Now, you always have a designated throw-in.
Usually there's one on each side of the field. Kecoughtan appears to be using Bobby Leneve on both sides, but usually there's one player that's best at throw-ins. A little unusual to use a forward all the time doing that. Sometimes you use a defender to do that. Ball's loose in the box. Oh,
wow.
Nice save.
Phoebus did a good job that time of preventing a goal, and we evidently have
We had a foul in the box. I think the call was running into the keeper, but I'm not sure.
You can't do that. You
No.
can't.
No, you can't block off the keeper physically like you can in basketball. The keeper's going to have a fair chance to get the ball.
And I know that Phoebus is probably getting a little frustrated at kicking the ball, but that wind is really against them now, and they can't get the ball down across the midfield line.
Yeah, the only way Phoebus can clear against this wind is to keep it absolutely low. Anything up in the air. That's a great chance for Kecoughtan. Point blank shot.
I think that's what you call pulling it. You pulled it a little to the left. I see who that young man was. Number 20. That was number 23 for the Brian Eubank.
Yeah,
He had a shot at a good shot at goal.
Yeah, he did. I think BT goes by, wants that one back.
Number 7, Eric DeMeyer.
So Phoebus has 9 defenders in the box on this because the ball's coming right in front of the keeper repeatedly on a throw-in. That's a good long throw-in.
Well, you're right about who's throwing in. Bobby
Leneve on both sides of the
Both
field.
sides.
He'll have to hustle back to his spot after he makes his throw. That's a beautiful throw. That would have been a goal.
That's a good job by the Phoebus goalkeeper.
Yeah, Paul Pavlik's having a nice half. I think here's a real chance for Kecoughtan.
And there it is.
There it is. There's a goal by Jason Broski.
And Jason, that was a nice assist. I didn't see who made the assist.
Scoring for Kecoughtan, number 18, Jason Broski.
Now, Jason's just a sophomore on this.
Jason's a sophomore, but he's a very experienced player. He's been playing a number of years on select teams. Excellent midfielder and forward.
Somebody got that ball over there to him, and I never got to. I didn't see who made that assist, but regardless, that will definitely give them an advantage coming into the second half.
Yeah, Kecoughtan really needed a goal with the wind.
Zooms with 5 Hampton locations has all kinds of good things to eat down there at Zooms. Beantown coffee, Krispy Kreme donuts, ham and cheese subs, Coca-Cola, fried chicken, more. Plus they have Citgo gas. Zooms and David Allen, one of our corporate sponsors.
Michael Congrove was just fouled, so Kecoughtan will get a free kick.
Now, when they have a free kick, how far away must the Phoebus Phantoms be? Is there
Yeah, Phoebus has to go back 10 yards, and from this distance, normally you would pass the ball, but Kecoughtan actually has a chance to take a shot from there with the wind at their
I
back.
was going to say, this is not a bad ploy to act like you're going to.
Now, if you look at the way Phoebus is lined up, what they're doing is forcing the Kecoughtan players forward. Nobody from Kecoughtan is allowed to go behind that line of defenders until the ball is kicked.
Oh, okay.
So what they're doing here is if it's shot, it gives the goalie a clear chance to make the save and without anybody coming in with a rebound.
Number 11, Trey Ross.
So they may just try to chip it over the top. There it is. Instead of a shot, they're trying to chip it right up front, and that's a beauty. Nice save. That was a good play by Kecoughtan. That was Mike Whalen with the cross, but nobody there. That's good coaching by both teams. Okay, and we've got a foul just outside of the box. Trey Ross was fouled as he went in, so now this is going to be a free kick for Kecoughtan right outside the box. If it had been 1 yard further in the box, it would have been a penalty kick. That's a beautiful shot by Mark Tunstall. Just goes left.
And that's who's that? Pavlik in the.
Pavlik's in the Phoebus goal. Mark Tunstall also does some place kicking for the football team.
As does Brian Smith.
That's right. Here's a nice corner kick. Another nice save by Paul Pavlik. That's an excellent midfield pass there by David Kennedy. Okay, now Phoebus has put that out, so that'll be a corner kick.
And again, now they have to kick it over in the four corner because it went out of bounds.
Went out of bounds off Phoebus, so Kecoughtan gets a corner kick, and this is a dangerous play. They have set plays just like you have in basketball, and they'll know exactly what they're doing and where every player is going to go. This is not a random thing at all.
See the sideline official, they're holding up the flag so it won't get in his way.
That's right. That's unusual.
Well, then you let it go.
Now, he's going to kick what's called an in-swinger. The ball's now he put it all the way up top. He could try to hook it all the way into the goal with the wind. Now, Phoebus did a smart thing there. Kecoughtan tried to take it out and bring it back, and they moved all their defenders forwards and make Kecoughtan offside.
Well, he called, okay.
In other words, there was one Kecoughtan player behind the Phoebus defense, and that's offside. Got a fair amount of pushing going on out there on both teams, but
Well, it's been
pretty clean game. Pretty
It
clean
really has
game.
been.
You expect some pushing.
Substituting for Phoebus is number 8, Mike Zamora.
And Mike Zamora, who was injured earlier, is now back in the game. That's a beautiful throw in against the
Wow,
wind.
it really
Absolutely
is.
great throw in against the wind.
And that was a good kick.
Good save by Daniel Dyke. Nice shot. Brian Levak's having a really strong half for Phoebus. Yeah, that's a clean tackle. He got the ball and he was in front of him.
And that's the key is he's not behind him.
And he's
And makes contact with the ball.
got to be going for the ball, and you got to hit the ball. If you go for the man, even if you're in front of him, you're going to get a card. And theoretically, if you make a tackle like that from behind, it's a red card, but that's not called with any great frequency.
Oh, that was a good opportunity that time for the Phantoms, but they came up short.
Well, we'll see if Kecoughtan can clear. Phoebus has got to try to keep it in this end now as best they can. That's good ball control by the Phantoms.
Oh, nice move.
Over here on the wing, we got a crossing pass. That was Eric DeMeyer. Beautiful cross.
That wind is really playing. I thought
Well,
that
it really
ball was
is.
going to go out of
Here's a
bounds.
possible breakaway for Kecoughtan. Mike Simpson with the ball. There's the shot. And it's
Good.
wide right.
Wide.
The keeper did a nice job coming out that time, Paul Pavlik, and cutting off Mike's angle.
Yeah, and that was the key, and we talked about this his first game. By him coming out there, he really limits the size of the net, so to speak.
That's exactly right, because he's going to block the shot unless Mike tried to go over or around him. If he had stayed back in his box, that would have been a goal for Mike Simpson. Got about 6 minutes left in the half, but we don't know how much injury time was added on there for the injury to
so that
Mike
could be
Zamora.
as much as 7 or more minutes.
Yeah, they really could at this point. It's hard to say what the ref's going to call. Kecoughtan, I think, at this point is going to push as hard as they can to get that second goal before they have to go against the wind. So they've got several of their defenders up into the offense.
Seem to have a little more vocal crowd, too.
Yeah, they're really into this match. Either that or they're really cold and they're trying to do something about it by screaming, which is possible, too.
Yeah, you got a good point there.
Good defense by Ryan Stevenson of Phoebus. Ball's loose in the box. And it goes wide. Excellent chance for Trey Ross, but Phantom's got it out of there.
Trey, just a ninth grader, got a 4.25 for the Warriors. But you're right, what an opportunity.
Number 12, Bobby Lanini.
Bringing in Bobby now. He's got to throw it in. It's not a.
No, he's got to throw in, but his throw in is so strong. I think you're going to see him put it in the middle of the box, just like a corner kick would be. Now, that one slipped on him a little bit. Well, that was a good example of shielding the ball by Mike Logan there and not letting the Phoebus player get to it.
Your Phoebus, you're just trying to clear it and get it out of the way.
Yeah, at this point, Phoebus just really needs to clear their own end and hope for the second half when they have the same advantage Kecoughtan enjoys now. The wind is just howling to the point where it's almost impossible to get it down the field.
The ball bounced up, and the young man missed the ball, and it's because the wind blew it.
Yeah, it's tough to judge. I don't know how apparent this is going to be on the TV broadcast, but this is a tough game for the players. I think if Phoebus can keep this at 1-0 at a halftime, they'll be satisfied. They've played a strong half on defense.
Well, the clock shows 3 minutes to go, and we know we have some time for the injury timeout.
It could be 3, and it could be, I'd say, 5. Really up to the ref. We won't know. Now, this is a good chance for Phoebus.
That's number 9, Brian Levac, that is the sweeper, and he's got a 3.94, one of the seniors on this team.
Now, Brian's had a really strong half, and he certainly had a lot of action playing sweeper with the wind in his face the whole half. Yeah, Brian is the team captain for Phoebus. He's also president of the Key Club. He's in the National Honor Society, the Math Honor Society, and he plays varsity golf, which he's done all 4 years of his high school career. That's a goal kick. The ball's off a Kecoughtan out, so Phoebus will get the free kick.
Now, do you determine which end of the field by a flip of the coin, the same way they do with in football?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can defer to the second half, or you can take the win or not take the win.
Exactly. You win the flip. You choose which way you want to go first.
Okay.
And I don't know who won the flip here, but Kecoughtan's going to have an equally rough time here in the second half unless the wind dies down.
Well, that's something else to consider too. Is there's always that possibility.
That's true, and the sky does appear to be clearing a little bit as the game goes on. That's a nice clear by Joey Lito right up the middle. Phoebus is looking for one more run.
Oh, nice pass. The other player for Phoebus seemed to be hesitating for some reason.
I think they're just being real careful not to let the ball back down the field on a counterattack.
Thinking defense rather than offense.
Well, they are, and here comes the counterattack right now. Yeah, Phoebus's midfielders are staying well back, which, the way the game is going, I think is a smart move. A little too much for Bobby Leneve on the wing. There shouldn't be too much more time in the half, so if Kecoughtan's going to do it, it's going to be now. And we'll see if they regret those missed opportunities here in the first half.
Because they had two other opportunities that could have very well have been goals.
They really did. They had at least two and maybe three balls right in front of the goal. Well, two in front, and then the one that went wide. That really, it could be 4-0.
And it looks like the end of the first half.
That's the first half. That was an excellent half. Both teams played well.
Well, the score is Kecoughtan 1 and Phoebus nothing at this point. The goal was scored at 3:20 with 3:20 left to go in the first half by Jason Broski. Stay tuned for the second half action. Welcome back to Darling Stadium at the beginning of the second half of the soccer match between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Kecoughtan Warriors. The Warriors are leading 1-0. Going into the second half, Phoebus will have the wind to their back, and this is a strong wind. It's gusting at least 30 miles an hour. Cloudy, cool, temperatures in the 50s, but I know it feels like it's 30.
Not too bad here in the press box, though.
Yeah, Bob Baster says this is a place to be to watch the ball game, and it is. We got a good view up here. Darling Stadium crew has done a great job. The field's in excellent condition. Been a hard-fought contest so far. We had the one goal scored with 13 minutes to go in the first half by Jason Broski for the Warriors. They had 2 or 3 other opportunities for scores, but sometimes you get over anxious when you're wide open. We want to welcome our corporate sponsors. We're happy to have Wood Funeral Home as one of our corporate sponsors. Wood Funeral Home, where the director Funeral director is Richard Pulley. On staff, Brian Wood and John Ware. Gear Up Printing. For all your printing needs, give Tom Gear a call at 827-8277 and Zooms with 5 convenient Hampton locations. And David Allen.
That's our first break of the second half. We got a foul about, let's say 25 yards out. Phoebus can shoot this or they can chip it over the top.
Now, they're not allowed to put any players.
Kecoughtan's got to stay back 10 yards. If they're wall, that's a wall they're building to get in front of the shot. If they're not back 10 yards, the referee will move them back.
Now, the defenders cannot be further towards the goal than.
Well, the defenders can back all the way up, and the reason they're not is to give their goalie a clear view.
Okay.
And the Phoebus now is either going to try to shoot the ball, or they can chip it over the top and hope one of their offensive players can run in and track it down. Now, the hard part is you got that wall in front of you, so you have to get the ball up quickly.
And I'm watching Pete Pyle on the other side giving some hand signals. Because I'm sure you get out there, you can yell. With that wind, you're not going to be able to hear.
Yeah, this is a really crucial play for both teams. See,
Now,
the referee's moving the wall back. He doesn't think that they were 10 yards away.
Okay, and also is. Oh, never
Okay,
mind.
now they've chipped it up, going for the header. That was very close to a mistake by Kecoughtan, but a good save by Daniel Dyke.
Dyke did a great job because that was a strong possibility, and he will notice that his punts are not going to go as far as they did in the first half when he had the wind behind him.
Now, Kecoughtan's going to have the same trouble clearing now. There was a card there on Jason Stewart. That's a yellow card for those of you who don't watch soccer much. He picks up a second card, he'd be out of the game.
Substituting for Kecoughtan is number 10, David Hendrickson.
Now, what do we have going to happen here?
Well, they've taken the player that was carded out of the game, and
That was a decision by the coach.
you have to take him out on a yellow
Okay.
card. But the coach would do it anyway because you don't want to take a chance of somebody who's unhappy getting another quick yellow card.
You don't want to pick up the 5th foul.
That's the equivalent of the 5th foul. That's correct.
Substituting in for Kecoughtan is number 14, Jason Stewart.
We will pick a player of the game for both of these teams, and those players receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Buckwalder's Engraving. They're located on Kecoughtan Road. The shirt comes from Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pecossin. We appreciate both John Roberts and Dave Buckwalder for their efforts in helping us recognize a player of the game from these teams tonight.
It's a good play by Joey Lito coming up the middle. He's played solid defense the whole game for Phoebus. See, Kecoughtan really is not going to be able to advance the ball on high chips like that. It's just hanging up in the air.
Number 12 for Kecoughtan, not a happy camera out there.
That's Bobby Leneve.
You complete your case. It's like in football or baseball or basketball. You complete all you want. The referee's not going to change his mind.
That's very true. In fact, I think it's particularly true in soccer. That's a good overlapping run by BTU
It
Bank.
really is. Nice center kick.
Good passing. Excellent. Offside.
Offside.
That was beautiful passing by Kecoughtan, but offside. And again, offsides is if you get behind the last defender before the ball is passed, you're going to be offside.
Well, and also you might have anticipated a different pass.
That's exactly right. In the girls' game before this, Phoebus pulled Kecoughtan offside repeatedly. I won't mention the player's name.
You won't do that.
No, but she's number 8.
She's not number 1 in her class, is she?
No, she's not. She knows who she is.
I'm glad she does. I think I have an idea, too. I'm not just a pretty face over here.
That's Mark Tunstall with the ball for Kecoughtan.
Now he's kicking the ball.
Yeah, he was fouled. Instead of the referee calling the ball out of bounds, he said the player was on Mark's back, so he's called a foul. But to be honest, a foul out in that part of the field is not much of an advantage to the offensive team. You can't do anything from there.
Just basically a change of possession is what happens.
Yeah, that's it. If you're going to commit a foul somewhere near the midfield line, is a good choice of place. That's a nice play by the sweeper. And Kecoughtan's sweeper is going to be very important to them this half.
And that is
Jason Stewart. Okay, that's a real break now for Phoebus. They're going to get a free kick from just outside the box with the wind at their back. And this nine's not going to wait. That's a nice play. He didn't let Kecoughtan set up on defense.
Yeah,
that's Brian Livac.
At first you thought, well, why is he doing? But
no.
Kecoughtan, a lot of the players had their back to the ball.
Yeah, Brian Livac's having an excellent game so far. That's called a quick restart. That's a smart choice. That's a nice goal kick. That's tough to clear into the wind. Really kept that on the line.
Number 11, Trey Ross. Number 3, Ron Smith.
Well, I have Chris Connolly as number 3. And then 19 is Brian Smith.
I think they've changed numbers on us.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Whoa.
Okay, Phoebus is going to get another free kick. Okay, now the kick he's taking is known as a direct kick, which means he can score off of this. If it was an indirect kick, would have to touch another player first. That's a nice play. The defenders don't want to get in front of the keeper. They want to give him a clear line.
Could they get in front of the keeper as far as shielding him, but without making contact? Is that allowed?
To some degree. You can't stand directly in front of the keeper like you would in basketball and set a pick.
Okay.
But you can certainly run through while the ball's coming and block vision that way.
Okay.
Kecoughtan's doing a smart thing by pushing up here. That's keeping Phoebus out of the box. Now that's a very dangerous spot. They're going to get a direct from almost in the box. This is a really good chance for Phoebus to score. Brad Carpenter with the kick, but it goes directly into the wall. And there it is.
That was a nice kick that time, number 7.
Eric DeMeyer with the goal on the rebound off the wall.
28-15.
Eric DeMeyer.
And the play's not dead after the first shot.
And it was almost like a rebound.
That's exactly what it is. That's in fact called a rebound. And nice play. He was wide awake to shoot that one.
With 27 minutes left in the second half, the advantage is clearly Phoebus at this point because of the win factor.
Well, that's correct. Eric, who scored that goal, has been on the varsity team for the last 3 years. He plays midfield, and his grade point average is 3.13.
And in that case, it's a smart move for the Phantoms to kick the ball out of bounds because Kecoughtan definitely had an advantage coming down into the goal.
That's correct. If you have a numbers disadvantage, you just put it out the side and make them throw it in. I'd say the physical nature of the game is picking up. We're averaging a foul a minute now, I think.
Well, a little different than the first contest. The girls were...
Yeah, they're more civil.
That's a good way to put it. A little more civil.
Oh, that's a good chance.
And that was a tremendous kick from going into the wind.
Yeah, that was a dangerous play for Paul Pavlik. Normally, if you come off your line out that far, you've got to get the ball. And he may have gotten a hand on that, but that could have been a goal. I don't think he expected it to carry that far into the wind. Now we'll see what kind of punt Paul has with the wind at his back. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real good one.
Yeah, boy. It looked like he was going to get about half midfield and it just kept right on going.
Yeah, in the first half, Paul couldn't get the ball up the midfield, and that was about 25 yards past. Now, if the game does stay tied, there's an overtime procedure where each team we'd play 2 5-minute overtimes, not sudden death.
And if nobody's after that, then
nobody
it
wins
ends up
after
as a
that.
tie.
We end as a tie. In playoff games, there's a kickoff or a shootout procedure. Yeah, Bobby Leneve is back in the game now. He's the young man who's been doing all the throw-ins for
And I
Kecoughtan.
noticed that he's coming right on over to throw the ball in.
Yes, he is.
It's got to be hard on the sideline to stay warm.
Well, it is.
You
And
come out.
if they
Keep it going, guys. Keep it
calling
going.
that. I guess they're calling the ball never went out, even though the player did. That's another thing that's unlike basketball. But what you're saying about the sidelines is correct. If they do any substitutes of people who haven't been in the game yet, they'll give them enough warning to get up and warm up before they go in. Because I have to think there's a wind chill factor of about 30 out there now with the way the wind's blowing. In fact, I'm watching my wife in the stand. She looks cold. It's Okay, Phoebus is really pushing most of its defense forward now, what they couldn't do in the first half.
Well, that was a nice kick.
That was a beauty. Kecoughtan's trying to mount an offense now, even though they're against that wind. That was Jason Broski who scored in the first half with that long shot.
We don't have any statistics for the boys, how many goals they scored or anything.
No, I don't have that for this game. I know that Jason is one of the leading scorers.
Now, how do they qualify for the district tournament?
There'll be a tournament of the top 4 teams in the district. As normal, 1 would play 4 and 2 would play 3. And then there'll be a championship match after that. And the top 2 teams in the district go to the regional tournament.
Now, is it the top 2 teams in the district tournament, or do you take the top team that won the regular season?
The champion goes automatically.
Okay.
And then if you win the district.
Just like basketball does.
Right.
Okay.
And right now, these 2 teams and Gloucester, I think, would be the top 3 teams in the district. And looking forward to the tournament. Bobby Leneve thought he'd give the ball boy a little exercise there.
Now he's throwing it in again?
Yeah, I think they decided that he had taken too many steps and gone too far forward on the throw, so they're going to back him up. Maybe we can get a flip throw here like we had in the girls match.
Yeah, that was kind of neat, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is really just a change of possession foul. It doesn't. There's no risk here for Kecoughtan. That's a nice ball. Okay, Phoebus is substituting in. One of the players is Brian Hunter.
Yeah.
And the other is Chris Moore.
Substituting for Phoebus, number 12, Chris Moore, and number 24, Brian Hunter.
David Allen Zoom is recognized as senior on each one of these soccer teams this evening. That player will receive a plaque for outstanding academic excellence. They received this in the school board meeting in May. And right now, the Kecoughtan boys player is Jason Stewart. And for Phoebus, I'm not sure who it is because we didn't get a complete roster, so I'm not going to go out on the limb too far here and saw it off. But we will find out from Phoebus. We will call over and get the name from Phoebus.
Okay, Kecoughtan's going to take a corner kick here, left-footed, and try to swing it in towards the goal.
Good shot from the camera side.
That's a good corner, but it really hung up in the wind. So that's why you have to have a good sweeper. Phoebus had 3 forwards coming up, and if he had missed that ball, keeper's in trouble.
Nice move that time by number 9 for the Warriors.
That was 10 with the ball there was David Hendrickson. Here we've got less than 20 minutes left in the half. What a great throw in by Bobby Leneve. I think
Pavlik did a good job of getting that ball.
That was more of a save than I think Paul Pavlik thought he was going to have to make. That was a nice one.
He shows tremendous strength throwing that ball in. I can see why they got him doing that.
Yeah, he's had a great game throwing him in. It's Mike Simpson, a beautiful cross.
Just went wide. It was a nice
good
pass.
Good chance. I think that was Bobby Leneve. But it goes wide right. The referee's not going to call that play at midfield. He's definitely letting them play. Look at that ball. That ball actually went up and went backwards once it reached its peak. Nice pass into open space.
Substituting for Phoebus is number 13, Brad Carpenter, and number 8, Mike Zamora.
Just to let you know that these games, I hope you're watching them on Saturday, but they will be played again on Sunday. The girls' contest will be at 4 o'clock, the boys at 7 o'clock. And then on Monday again, sometime after 5 o'clock, they told me they're going to play them again on Monday.
Another foul on Kecoughtan right outside the box. Mike Zamora was fouled and appears to be injured again. There's a yellow card on Kecoughtan's Michael Congrove on that play.
Now again, Zamora's going to have to come out at the end of this. It gets up to 15 minutes and a half in the remaining in the contest. The score is tied 1-1. Jason Broski scored for Kecoughtan in the first half, and Eric DeMeyer scored for the Phantoms in the second half. We have an injury timeout, and that's kept on the field.
And Mike Zamora had just come back into the game with Brad Carpenter as Phoebus switched their strikers to get some fresh legs up front.
Tom Gear is on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Peninsula, and they have over 200 little brothers looking for big brothers. This is a great opportunity. If you are interested, give them a call at 827-0110. They need volunteers to spend 4 to 5 hours a week with their little brothers. Kids start as young as 6 years old. It's Tom Gear and Gear Up Printing. Well, I hope he's not injured too much. It looks like, yeah, he's getting up, but he's...
Looks like the same leg he injured previously.
Yeah, and it could very well be an ankle. We're going to carry him off the field. And let's hope it's just a sprain and nothing very serious.
Substituting in the game for Phoebus, number 11, Chandler Vogel. For Kecoughtan is number 4, Mark Kunstol.
Chandler Vogel comes in for the Phantoms, and they will have a kick
Now we have a direct kick, and he's got the wind behind him, and I suspect he's going to try to hook it around the right side of the wall and go for the shot on this.
Or bounce it off the players like Kecoughtan did in the first half and get a score. So
That's a beautiful play.
they were going for the header.
Kecoughtan's defense pushed up nicely.
We're getting a little excited over that. I think the fans are, but they still huddled together over there.
I'm not surprised. The people that came and sat through the girls' game into this have to be freezing.
Yeah, those seats don't have heaters in them either.
No, no.
We showed 13 minutes ago, but it was at least 2 or 3 minutes while we waited for the injury timeout. Good shot there on the sideline camera watching Ben DeMeyer bring the ball in. We got a breakaway. Whoa.
Excellent defense.
It was.
Because he got the ball, that's a clean tackle, even though the player went down. It was a run by Eric DeMeyer, who had scored the first goal, and good defense by Kecoughtan's sweeper. That's an enormous throw. That's Brian Levac. Nice play. There's a shot. Right to Paul Pavlik.
It is really getting rough out there. Bodies flying all over the place.
Yeah, those were all clean plays, though. I don't think any of those were fouls. There's nobody in the center for the cross. There he is.
Oh, just got it high.
Oh, that was very fortunate for Phoebus. Nobody came in.
Great pass from the left side.
That was a late run by Kecoughtan, and no one came in to defend.
It was almost like it wasn't going to happen, and then it just...
That was Kevin Tromley. That's one I think Kevin would like to have back as well.
Well, who was the young man going down on the sideline over there? Did a good job because he almost got tackled, and then
That was Bobby Leneve.
did a great job, and then getting the ball over to in scoring position.
And Bob, I think we ought to thank everyone who's helping us spot here, since you and I are having trouble with the numbers.
Well, just give them their names.
Well, the intensity of this game has really picked up now.
Who do we have helping us spot?
Well, we have the Kecoughtan girls varsity coaches, Jennifer and Scotty Tyson, and Brian Kritika, who's done a little bit of everything for us today.
And he even took a picture, didn't he?
Took a picture, played music, introduced all the players. Keep stealing my Phoebus roster.
Well, we appreciate all the help we get.
A nice save by Daniel Dyke. Well, that is very tough to clear. That's an excellent ball down the left wing. Good, strong defense again. There's Brian Levac again.
And he's your last defender.
He's the sweeper, and he's just been all over the field. And Joey Lito is also having a strong defensive game for Phoebus. He's really shut down the middle.
Well, we're in the last 10 minutes of the contest. It shows 8 minutes on the score clock.
Yeah, I think we may be looking at overtime the way it's going now. Outstanding play by Paul Pavlik.
Come out and cut down that angle. He did a great job.
This Bobby Lenev's going to go for the big throw. He should be able to get it really into the center of the box on this.
Here's a good shot with Ron Baton, our sideline cameraman. I need to talk about our crew. Bev Penn on the replay. Ron Baton on the sideline camera, and Nathaniel Braxton up here with us with his snow gear on. Andy Foley doing the graphics, Don Charaus, and Scotty Bowers. Do appreciate our crew. They do a great job, game in, game out, regardless of what contest, what sport we're doing.
Substituting for Phoebus is number 6, Travis Johnson.
Oh, that was an excellent pass. It didn't work, but good idea. Here comes Kecoughtan on the counterattack. Nobody in the middle. Bobby Lenev's looking for the ball. Nice pass by Bobby Leneve. Good solid defense by Danny Conaway of Phoebus. This is an excellent soccer match by both teams.
You can see why they're two of the top teams on the peninsula this year.
That's right. You cannot pass it back to the keeper. If you do, the keeper cannot pick it up. He can play it with his feet, but you can't kick it back to the keeper, let him pick it up and take a punt. Bobby Leneve trying to work into the box, but there's 3 defenders.
Well, that's the first time he did not throw the ball in bounds from the side.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that myself. He's had a super game throwing. Another foul in the middle of the field. Now, unlike basketball, these fouls really don't mean anything against a particular player unless there's a card. You can get an unlimited number of fouls as long as you're not carded.
The dreaded card.
The dreaded card, that's right. And the really dreaded card is the dreaded red card if you're...
Oh, whoa! What a nice header.
That's a header for a goal from about 18
number
yards.
13, and that's Brad Carpenter.
Brad Carpenter.
Excellent play by Brad Carpenter. Brad's grade point average is 3.81. He's the team captain. Been playing on the varsity for 4 years. Also in the Key Club of the National Honor Society and the National Maths Honor Society.
The pressure is really on Kecoughtan, but that was a goal that you didn't expect to see from a header that far out, except with this wind, it becomes a dangerous weapon.
He really flicked it off the back of his head. That shows a lot of skill. Excellent play by Brad Carpenter.
You got a card or something, or what's going on?
Jason Broski has been carded for Kecoughtan.
Well, the clock shows 4 minutes. We know there's probably at least 7 left to go in the contest, so it's not over. Kecoughtan still has a chance. They had some scoring opportunities today that they've let slip by. A couple 3 in the first half, and
At least one more in the second half. Eric DeMeyer's come back into the game for Phoebus.
Number 7, Eric DeMeyer.
He's already got 1 goal.
19, Ryan Stevenson.
Now, Phoebus is just going to do all they can to keep it in Kecoughtan's end and run out the clock. And I would guess that despite what the scoreboard says, I would guess there's 6 minutes left.
well, that's what I was going to say. You really can't go with the scoreboard. It's not like in football or basketball where you can see how much time is remaining.
Now, in international play, they actually tell you when you get close to the end how much injury time there is, but we don't have that in this game. See, what Phoebus is going to do now is at every opportunity just push the ball all the way back down the field and make Kecoughtan regroup. It's not unlike ice hockey. Good defensive play again. And Phoebus is not really concerned about scoring now. They just want to control the ball.
And keep the ball down at Kecoughtan's end. We got
Either push it all the way down on a long kick or just literally play keep away, which is something these boys practice every day at their soccer practices.
we got number 5 is injured for the Warriors. That's David Kennedy. Now he seems to be up moving around pretty good.
This is number 11, Chandler Vogel.
What is going on now? It was not Kecoughtan's
No,
ball.
it's not Kecoughtan's ball. That's not an unusual play in soccer.
I was going to say, that's if you can get by with it.
Now, the referee can stop the clock during substitutions. One of the things the Phoebus coach can do to run out time if he's not doing that is just keep substituting, because every time you substitute, it takes 20 or 30 seconds.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the contest. We do have to come up with a player of the game. I'm going to pick the Phoebus player this time. I'll let you do the Kecoughtan.
All right, that'll be fine.
Yellow card at number 5 for the Warriors.
That's David Kennedy. And now we have a yellow card for talking against Mike Simpson. Referees really don't. And now he's been red carded. But, so Kecoughtan will now play down a player for the rest of the match.
That means you cannot substitute for him.
You cannot substitute for him. It's the equivalent of being shorthanded in hockey. My fault. High school rules, you can.
Well, we've been.
My missed call, but fortunately we have half the coaching staff in Hampton in the booth with us, and I stand corrected.
Well, and they're not up here just to see us. I think it's up here because it's warmer.
I think there's no question of that. And we have a dispute in the goal. The referee's having a hard time keeping control of the game now.
They're going to play without him.
They're trying. Kecoughtan's down to very little time now. They need to just drive the ball down the field and go for a run. Good defensive play there by Mike Logan. Looks like the Brad Carpenter goal may hold up here. There's not much time left in the game.
It sure isn't. And while we're getting close to the end of the game, I'm going to go with Eric DeMeyer on the Phantoms as the player of the game.
Eric had an excellent offensive game for Phoebus. Look at that throw in. And I will pick for Kecoughtan Bobby Leneve, who had a strong offensive game and did a great job with his throw-ins.
Well, congratulations to those two young men. They will receive a plaque and a shirt.
Nice save by Daniel Dyke. He needs to get up quickly and punt. Or throw. That's the ball game.
That's the game. And we have a win by the Phoebus Phantoms, 2-1 over the Kecoughtan Warriors. Our players of the game, Bobby Leneve for the Warriors and Eric DeMeyer for the Phantoms. I want to thank our crew, Scotty Bowers, Don Sherrouse, Andy Foley, Nat Braxton, Ron Baton, Bev Penn. My cohort here. Bob, appreciate you coming by and helping out.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I appreciate you letting me sit in the booth.
Well, you helped us out in a tight spot, and we do appreciate it. From Darling Stadium, this is Bob Hint saying good afternoon.